exhale.
Woo! Man.
And the Tennessee Titans will head to their bye week at 6-6.
A huge opportunity. Half a game out, 4 games left. Definitely an opportunity to make our mark on the league.
We're excited. We're ready. This break couldn't come at a better time. Now we know we got 4 games left in the regular season. We'll be well rested and ready to go.
It's been a long time since the Titans have played meaningful football games in the month of December. Jonathan Hutton joins us now. 2008 was the last time the Titans made the playoffs, but momentum is steadily gaining with this team. Are they ready, though, to make a December push to the playoffs?
Well, internally, they believe so. And that's because, Steve, they can run the football. Their offensive line is protecting their quarterback. They have that gritty mentality that Mike Mularkey and John Robinson have been preaching now for almost a year. They think that the style of football they're playing right now is playoff football, and they're right in the thick of things.
This week, they enjoyed one of the latest bye weeks in NFL history. And I do mean enjoy. A Week 13 bye seemed like a disadvantage when the schedule came out way back in April, but did it come at the perfect time now?
Well, when the schedule came out, I thought the NFL must hate the Tennessee Titans. They shared the bye with the Cleveland Browns as the latest bye this year in Week 13, but I think it actually helps this team going into December. They sat back today, they watched Houston lose, and they get a chance to see what Indianapolis does tomorrow night on Monday Night Football, and they got a chance to heal. Jason McCourty, Jarrell Casey would have both been on the injury report had there been a game today. Of course, they're off, so they get to mend what was an ankle injury, or a foot injury, I should say, and a knee injury.
DeMarco Murray gets some extra time as well. No game this week, but the Titans did make a big move. The team released starting cornerback Parrish Cox on Monday after he was burned several times in pass coverage in last week's win in Chicago. Cox led the Titans with 3 interceptions, believe it or not, but also led all NFL cornerbacks in yards receiving against and missed tackles this season. Inconsistency the Titans were fed up with enough to make the late season move.
He's shown over the last few weeks he hasn't played consistently, and it's we've got some guys that do have experience, starting experience. There's no hidden messages. This is the way the NFL is. If you don't perform at the level that we ask, then we're going to find somebody that does. But there's never a hidden message.
Maybe no hidden messages, but it was a loud and clear message that this secondary has to play better. You heard Mularkey mentioning some of the other guys with starting experience. That would be Bryce McCain and Valentino Blake. Who's most likely to take Cox's spot?
A combination of both of them, plus LaShawn Sims. I think you combine all 3, they'll be rotating in. I think Jason McCourty will not be rotating as much as he did at Chicago. And this is a move that does send a message to the rest of the roster. I think the Titans coaching staff and front office, they looked at what Parrish Cox was doing on the playing field, and they compared it to what he did last year at the end of the 2015 season. Of course, his play, I always think about the lack of effort he gave on the field in New York against the Jets at the Meadowlands. That was just everything was all-encompassing there on, did the Titans give up that game? Parrish Cox with the lack of effort, hitting a player coming into the end zone. I think they saw him going down that same trend, down that same path going into this December.
And quickly, is that effort why they decided to release him and not just demote him?
Well, ultimately, they released Parrish Cox because he was going to be inactive on game day if they just benched him. He wasn't going to play special teams, so they elevate Kalen Reed, draft pick, and they give him a chance to play special teams now on a roster that could use some speed at that spot. Parrish Cox wasn't going to be out there for kicking game.
Ultimately, the bottom line, though, is you cannot upgrade the roster very much, at least, in the month of December. So how can the Titans mask this problem in the secondary down the stretch?
Well, they are losing a starter by making this move going into December in a playoff push, but they masked this by getting that pass rush back. The pass rush that we saw get 6 sacks at Miami, and then back-to-back weeks play at home against Cleveland, get 6 sacks against the Browns. They need to get that ferocity back, getting to the quarterback. That will help out the secondary because that's what it did throughout the month of October.
The good news for the Titans defense, there are no elite quarterbacks remaining on the schedule down the stretch. Next week's opponent, they don't even know who the quarterback might be. Trevor Siemian out for Denver today in Jacksonville. Jay Hutt with a sprained foot. Former Memphis star Paxton Lynch filling in, and Hand it off to Devontae Parker, who fights his way in for the touchdown. Jonathan, the Titans see Blake Bortles in Week 16, and he throws the pick 6 here to Bradley Roby. Nothing to be worried about.
No, he has not played like a franchise quarterback in Jacksonville. Probably making a coaching change, and a new coach in Jacksonville will have to evaluate if they have the quarterback of the future.
Broncos beat the Jags 20-10. The AFC South leading Texans on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Third quarter, Brock Osweiler to Ryan Griffin. Footprints down, game tied at 7. Griffin doing the Lambeau leap, probably for warmth today. Fourth quarter, Aaron Rodgers threw the flurries to Jordy Nelson, 32 yards. Cheeseheads rejoice. Packers take down the Texans. So as we look at the Farm Bureau Insurance AFC South standings, the Titans in first place, tied with the Texans at 6-6. The Colts can make it a 3-way tie with a win over the Jets Monday night. So it is very interesting because the Colts did win over the Jets on Monday night. So it is now a 3-way tie in the division, 6-6 for everybody. 4 games to go. More now with Jonathan Hutton as we look at this final month. What the Titans need to do down the stretch in this playoff picture to reach the playoffs for the first time since 2008. All right, so as the dust settles tonight, the Titans are tied with the Texans for first place in the AFC South. Jonathan, 4 games left. What do the Titans have to do to win the division and make the playoffs?
Well, first and foremost, they need to root against the Houston Texans to win these games. They've been rooting all season, really since the start of October, to have the opportunity January 1st to play for the division title. They're going to lose tiebreakers to Houston and to Indianapolis, so they want to have that game on the 1st of January be for all the marbles in the AFC South, where they could end up having a better record than the Houston Texans. That's the only way they can get into the postseason.
Probably have to go at least 3-1, wouldn't you say, down the stretch?
3-1, which would mean splitting one of these 2 next games. That makes the game this coming Sunday against Denver massive.
And then, of course, they absolutely would have to beat the Texans on January 1. But just imagine, Week 17, the AFC South on the line in Nashville. Boy, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Jay Hutt, thank you.
Good to be here.